In a very ancient existence, there were a people that persisted in establishing a beautiful land. And in this place there was a king that hailed from the land of the Nubian, and he ruled with a mighty black hand. His name was Taharka, and knowledge was his river that flowed like the powerful Nile. And in this great nation he fertilized the population with wisdom to every man, woman, and child. Now Taharka had a council that he trusted with his life, and that was the royal priesthood. He looked at his great nation and was content with his creation, and he decided that everything was good. His next order of business was to produce an heir to carry on the royal bloodlines. And though he bedded many women, only one was his queen, and it was with her that he planted seeds divine. While asleep in his chambers, the king had a dream that would change the way we all perceive reality. The king saw a bird with glowing golden eyes. It was perched on a date tree in the middle of the night. What manner of beast is this? Its appearance is quite foul. Little did the king know it was an all-seeing owl. Who might you be? The owl asked the king. Taharka stood up straight and was appalled to even have to answer him. I am everything and everything is me. I rule over this entire nation that you see. The owl was not impressed. Who was all he could say? The mighty Nubian pharaoh threw his hands up in dismay. Taharka was clearly angered by the beast perched in the tree. He said, only I possess the sacred knowledge of 12 royal priests. Who? The owl said. Taharka kicked and cursed. Finally he decided to tell the owl the secrets of the universe. He told the owl the histories of the peoples of the earth. He told the owl the mysteries of gold and what it's worth. He told the owl the reason for the movement of the sun. He told the owl the cosmic connection between constellations. He told the owl of knowledge on the dark side of the moon. He told the owl of music that was played with divine tunes. He told the owl the powers of the stars and sky above. He told the owl the philosophies of time, hate, and love. He told the owl of strategy to be used in war and peace. All these things he told the owl in the innocence of sleep. And while the king slept, the owl flew all night. The owl unraveled the spirals of time with his newly acquired sight. The owl stole our precious metal. The owl hid us from the sun. The owl sent in its spies to suppress the soul rebellion. The owl commandeered our music and changed its frequency. The owl colonized our land and deceived us of our history. The owl sent in its soldiers to kill the righteous and the pure. The owl released disease to which there is to be no cure. The owl initiated conflict and witnessed kingdoms fall. The owl observed war, death, hate. The owl saw it all. And when the owl finished flying from the past into our present, the king finally awoke, only to find he was a peasant. The king only remembered his past life as a dream. He muttered, I was everything and everything was me. I was everything and everything was me. So how did I lose my kingdom to a bird perched in a tree? I must have been a fool to let the owl deceive me and allow my wise rule to turn into ignorant vanity. And it was in this state that I lost my reality, my divine earthly kingdom taken from right before me. The owl has plucked the truth and has transformed them into lies. And with this stolen knowledge, the owl is thought of to be wise. Pharaoh awoke to a world controlled by ignorance and fear. The walking dead patrolled the streets programmed by their nightmares. While he begged for change, the king kept a noble eye out for the truth. He saw it was alive and well in the stories of the youth. He heard divine rhythms played on silver machinery. He smelled the ancient aroma of the herbal greenery. He saw the meadow nature painted on the concrete walls. He heard the people responding to the storyteller's calls. He watched as acrobatic dancers moved their bodies to the beats. He filled his cup with coins as people gathered in the streets. He listened to youth and rituals of spelling verse and rhyme. It reminded him of the royal priest that transcends space and time. I was everything and everything was me. I am lost in this place, but I sense a faint familiarity, as if I am everything and everything is me. I must remember my rightful place as the ruler of all I see. The hawk and the sun are symbols of my ancient dynasty. I, Manhotep, invocalize the sacred mysteries, as set in emerald stone by the ibis scribe Jehudi. This strange technology reminds me of ritual drum and dance. With music in the background, Pharaoh dreamt into a trance. Through history and time, Taharka wandered for his friends, but the queen had other means by which to achieve a certain end. She bore witness to an epic battle of the heavens and the earth, and in the midst of spirit and matter, the queen had given birth. Meanwhile, Governor Mentu Mhat was in control of the Nubian seat, but the military victories they had won were but bittersweet. For though they ruled with power over Karnak, Thebes, and Memphis, the kingdom would soon fall despite measures to prevent this. So he gathered the priesthood for the queen as the banks of the Nile did flood. For soon the Nubian dynasty would be covered in its own blood. The queen was busy calculating interstellar math, so when the eye was open, she could travel down the path. The priests agreed to leave the teachings on the temple walls intact, so future generations could navigate from fiction into fact. The queen resembled Ma'at, the universal goddess of truth. She addressed the royal priests while she was nourishing her youth. They numbered 12, all gathered in the council of the palace. She said, I feel like Aset in search of Asar's missing phallus. They laughed at this and spoke that the queen mother was at the helm. They gave their priestly creed and she was empress of the realm. They informed her of the properties of dark matter and light. They recited from the book of coming forth by day from night. They taught the queen the particulars of telepathic energy. They trained her in the martial arts to be one with her inner chi. They chanted in a ritual and danced with drum and song. They nursed her with roots and fruits so that she would grow strong. They recorded for her divine principles of the universal law. They observed the royal dreams and interpreted all of what they saw. They listened to her knowledge like children unto their mother. They said, go at once, retrieve your king, our royal brother. Just then a portal was formed by the grandson of the great priest. It was said to lead directly to the belly of the beast. They took their time and drank their wine at the great solstice feast. The empress stepped inside just as the sun rose in the east. I am everything and everything is me. I must put an end to these childish games of misplaced patriarchy. I am everything and everything is me. I have worked too hard as a single matriarch raising this family to let our story fade out into a distant memory. He may be king, but our elders say it is mother who knows best. The queen appeared on concrete streets as the sun set in the west. She found the king and placed a piece of gold into his cup. The familiar glow had caused Taharka to shade his eyes and look up, for there she was, the most beautifulest thing he'd ever seen. She reminded him of an ancient Nubian empress, warrior queen. She spoke to him in silence as she shared her soulful shine. Some Bantu b-boys broke out into the dance of the divine. A cipher started spitting in poetic reasoning. A merchant started selling chicken with jerk seasoning. An acrylic aerosol started scripting stone walls with tags and spray. The tables turned back time when the DJ began to play. I am everything and everything is me. Once I was lost, but now I seem to know my memory. I am everything and everything is me. I am Taharka, penultimate ruler of the Nubian dynasty. I am everything and everything is me. Elect of Amun-Ra, priest of Akashic royalty. But all I am now and everything I aspire to be would simply not exist were it not for the raw power of she. He kissed her hand and ranted in a freestyle revelation. The public passed off as drug-induced hallucination. A Rasta man started chanting on the Nyabingi drum. The queen informed the king that she had born to him a son. HAWKEYE awoke to find his family filled with flight and fears. The priest proclaimed him a prodigious boy that was well beyond his years. With his folks away, HAWKEYE was raised by his father's priestly clan. And when he came of age, he underwent the ancient rites of man. He quested like a visionary and fought the jungle lion. He prayed at the pyramids that were aligned to the belt of Orion. He traveled through the Stargate to visit Sedona, the Martian dread. He studied at Wasset Library until all the scrolls were read. He casted spells of magic and with creative incantations, he blasted vile intent with his vocal devastation. HAWKEYE the prince took the priestly oath in a ritual of obedience. He swore to reclaim the throne through cunning, daring, skill, and defiance. The avenging son was eager to correct the owl's insidious fiction, so he stepped inside the parliament, which was a foreign jurisdiction. He made his claim of infinite value and of eternal worth, returned the king to his throne as rightful ruler of the earth. The owls were wide-eyed in awe, yet still they could not see that before them stood the fulfillment of an ancient prophecy. They turned their heads in council to determine what to do. Finally, Moloch of Babylon asked the question, "Who are you?" The prince smiled victoriously as he prepared to speak, for it is orality that separates the strong from the weak. I am the hawk flown from the past of the blessed Nubian palace. I am HAWKEYE impervious from mischief, harm, and malice. I am the sun shone brightly on the garden of the truth. I am the light to lead the way for the journeys of our youth. My nation stretches forth her hands like the spirit of the Ka. My body is of the black lands like the life force of the Ba. With pure intent I claim my destiny as in Revelation. With a clean heart I sound the abeng to unify the nation. With a clear mind I speak that out of many we are one. In good time the word is heard from the skins of 1,000 drums. With open eyes the owls spread their wings and fled fearfully in flight. The closest to the day is the darkest part of night. The hawk eyed the owl as it flew away towards the lunar glow. Then HAWKEYE stopped in midnight air and swooped down to the earth below. He landed on the streets just as the needle dropped in the groove. He stepped up to the mic and he began to show and prove. I am everything and everything is I. All is in my eyesight from down on earth up to the sky. I am everything and everything is I. No bird soars too high if that bird flies with its own wings. I know my native tongue because of how my mother sings, chanting cosmic dramas and the glories of the kings. And now we stand united as the Holy Trinity, a bond to be remembered from now till infinity. Through history and time, HAWKEYE wandered through the gate, so he could find his family to avenge and liberate. But what he found in the stories that originate at the source is that authentic knowledge of self is an extremely powerful force. Like a star that burns itself into a supernova oracle, the sun sacrifices its life into stories of metaphorical gods that conspire to form reality from our lucid dream, as we row our golden covenants gently, gently down the stream. For eons, centuries, decades, years, weeks, days, and hours, freedom is responsibility, and with that comes great powers. To tell tall tales of kings and queens and the flagships that they flew, and the amazing achievement of the Hawkeye Prince, the original Super HAWKEYE. In a very ancient existence, there lived a king who had insisted in ruling with the mighty, mighty dread. But on the land he had a dream and fell victim to the owl's evil scheme of recurring cycles of life and death. With real love, the queen remembered the fight with royal priest as her guide. She used her insight to transmute time and inner stand. We are spiritual beings in human form, singing songs to the sun before it was born, as the sun grows up into a man.